Hello, hello. Hope you're doing well today. We're going to go ahead and get started here in just a little bit, but first of all, I'm going to go ahead and just put out a quick signal about it. Sorry I'm getting started a little later than I wanted to today, but hopefully we can still get a decent amount done and enjoy ourselves while we're at it. But I'd love to know where you're watching from. And like I said, let me just send out a quick signal on Twitter and let people know that we're doing this, and then we'll get started here officially. I guess I should probably transition a little bit at least. Show you the starting. This is the design we're going to build out here, and you can see it. I just grabbed this from the Figma community design thing, and it's available for the copyright's fine for me to use as long as I give attribution, which you can find in the description. All right. Hi from Germany. Hi, thanks for joining. I'm guessing it's what? Afternoon sometime? Late afternoon for you? Sweden? India? No one on the West Coast. That's of the US. That's what I thought. But I think that's one of the things I actually enjoy doing about early in the morning is I get to connect with people that I normally wouldn't get to connect with. But Croatia, Brazil, muito bem. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Hi, officially. Good to see you this morning. And we're going to jump right into this project. All right, so here we are. And I've got this draft template up here. And again, I just grabbed this from Figma design community, and you can grab the link in the description. But it's great to see everyone. Hi from Belgium. Awesome. Well, like I said, we're going to build this thing out with Astro. There's a bunch of really cool new stuff. There's that view transitions. I just did a video on that, and I want to play around with that some. We've also got the assets collection. All this is getting really close in 3.0, which is coming out in just a little bit, and I do plan to do a video on that. But I thought this might be a nice way to kind of just jump straight in. Probably what we'll do, maybe we'll pull this from a pretend CMS even. I'm not sure exactly if we're gonna have time to do all this stuff or not. I don't know. We'll have to see. I mean, we could definitely do it. I just don't know. I don't know how wise it is to try to do it all. Yeah. So again, I just grabbed this from the design community, and whoever designed this did a great job. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump in. Oh, here's the link if you want to follow that. And what we're gonna do is just let's npm create Astro at latest. And let's call it something well, we'll just do that and it'll ask us what we want to call it. All right, it's thinking about it, I think. There we go. Not sure where that took so long. Is it okay to proceed? I already said yes. Oh, here we go. Okay. I probably should have done at the beta, but that's fine. We'll just set those assets collection up. Let's call this travel blog live stream. How about that? Empty. We don't want anything. We'll just build this thing out straight from scratch. I'd love to know how much you've worked with Astro. If you're checking this out because you're interested in Astro and you haven't really touched it yet, or what? Hey from Brazil, welcome. Indonesia, welcome. Like I said, we're going to try to we'll use content collections, we'll use assets. One question I have for you is if we should do, if you've never touched Astro, sure, you should be able to follow along. I'll try to explain stuff as we go, and obviously ask questions as we go too. Do you want me to use Tailwind and just kind of ignore the structuring out CSS, or do you have any recommendations there? I'm happy to move either direction there. Probably my default would be Tailwind just to keep it as easy as possible. Interested in Astro, never used it. Awesome. Working on one right now. Have me in the background. Okay, hopefully I don't mess you up. That's why I use PMPM normally. I just didn't think about that because now we're sitting here waiting on all these things to install that I already have symlinked on my computer somewhere. So Tailwind definitely, okay. Astro does have syntax highlighting, yes. Tailwind's fine with me. I would use the Astro extension. Okay, we got two, one definitely Tailwind and one, sure, that's fine. So we'll use Tailwind. TypeScript, I'm not sure I'm confident enough to totally write in TypeScript, but I probably should try to do something. Let's try it. This might total fail. As long as you're patient with my TypeScript skills, we'll try it. So let's get into the travel stream. And then let me go ahead and open this up. And VS Code. Content collections, yes, we will. Split this. We'll jump in here. I'm also going to kill this over here. We'll just use the Figma extension inside VS Code. I will probably also... this is fine. Okay. Okay, so here we are. You can see the basic setup here. What it does is it puts everything inside of this pages directory. And if you've worked with Astro before, you already know this. But just for those who are brand new to it, used it to build my portfolio, mapping tags, data from the front page to the blog page. Okay. Awesome. Hey, great job on those two websites. Okay, so everything inside this pages directory is automatically a route in Astro. And you can use Astro files here, HTML files or MB files, markdown files, for your pages directory. So anything inside of a pages directory becomes a route automatically. So that's how the routing is done. You can then obviously point to like individual components as well, which we'll get to in a second. So we've got this basic page right here. Let me go ahead and I'm just gonna, well, I don't know, I would probably tend to come over here and just do npm run dev. So let's do that, I guess. What we need to do is inside of here, actually, let me pull up this Figma file. Let's see if I can do this with such a small screen. Normally I'm way more zoomed out, but this new Figma extension VS Code is a lifesaver. So I'm a big fan of this. You can see what we probably need to do to start with is just quickly maybe let's just scaffold out this top section. Let me put this behind everything. Can I do that? Yeah. Okay, and with that said, actually what we need to do one more time before we do anything else, npm Astro add Tailwind. Maybe it's just, I thought that's how you do that. Tailwind, Astro. I always have to look this stuff up. MBX. Oh, I thought it was a. All right, there we go. Now what it's going to do is install this, and the nice thing about Astro is it's built with Vite, so a lot of this stuff you don't even have to like have special stuff for. It's just pre-prepared for things that use post CSS, so that's helpful. That's fine. So it does all this stuff for you. It updates your config, and you're off to the races. So now we're ready to use Tailwind anywhere we want to in our project, which is cool. All right, and now I should come over here. I think it's just localhost 3000, and that should work. Assets folder, yes. Yes, I do, because they're releasing it in like a week and a half. So I think it's perfectly legitimate to do that. Okay, so here we go right here. Let's build out our first Astro component. And the nice thing about Astro is you don't have to use Astro components. You can use Vue or React or anything you want, basically. And as long as, as long as you give it some client directives, it will even do client-side JavaScript if you want to. But you can just use, like if you really like React, just use React, and you don't have to hydrate it with JavaScript. So it'll still just basically render it out at build time and put it up on your site. Hey, Dante, welcome. So let's go ahead and look at that nav component. And if we come over here, I'm just going to see what I can grab here. So let's grab this, and this, and this, and this. Okay. And then we'll probably grab some of these things in a second. All right, so we could build it all out here as a nav component here, or what we could do is componentize this and drop this into a components directory. And we can call this nav or shared or whatever. Let's just keep everything at the top level, and I'll do nav.astro. And Astro files have two sections. They have this top section up here, which is your front matter. Here you can put anything you want. That's JavaScript. All this is actually wrapped in an async function anyhow. So you can also do top level await in here if you want to. You can do data, you can do imports. So what we're going to do is let's just have, let's call this like navigation or nav items. And this will just be an array of nav items. Each of these will have like a title, and that will be whatever that is. And then they'll also have a route, which in this case will be, let's just call href, and just point it there. So we'll do this for each of these. Let me drop this down a couple times. Same thing here, same thing here. And I could, of course, have this in a separate data file and import this if I want to. But in this case, I think we'll just keep it all localized here. Articles, or maybe we call this blog, contact us, and this will be contact. All right, so now that I've got these, I can actually grab them down below here. Let's start with the nav first of all. We could just say like hi or whatever, and what we can do is import them like this. All right, now I should actually be seeing IntelliSense telling me that nav is here, and the reason is because I have this Astro extension installed, which you basically have to use with Astro. It's I don't know, I wouldn't use Astro without it. But sometimes it doesn't work in VS Code. I'm not really sure why. It's just been happening recently, but if you reload the window, then it will work. And right here, you can see if I click on this now, it auto imports this. So now I'm just dumping the nav directly in here, and then it will just take everything below this front matter and dump it straight in. You can see it does it right there. Now what I can do is inside this nav, I can do like JavaScript type things. All right, so you can do JSX style syntax, and to do that, you just have these curly brackets. Is Astro a good choice if you're implementing forms auth on a website? Sure, I mean, depending on your needs, how intense those forms and auth are, but yeah, there's no reason you can't use Astro for that if it's a small section. If you're trying to like I have several where the entire site is static, and I have a section that uses basically React to display a bunch of data. It's more like an admin section, and that whole thing is underneath essentially a React route. So you can definitely do that, and then there's ways to deal with auth. Like Supabase has, I think, has a decent guide on that, but eventually I want to get around to doing a project that shows all that off. All right, where are we at? Let's go ahead and open this one more time. Why does this keep showing? Okay. All right, so let me grab this. Is this just text? Copy as SVG, there we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and drop this in. We're gonna drop it in the nav component, if I can find it. All right, so let's come in here and just drop this SVG right in here. And for now, I'm just gonna leave it like that, and that should be showing, yeah, there we go. Okay, so that works. And then on the other side, we're gonna have this section that will be, right now we'll just put in a div, and this is where all my nav items will show. So I can grab my nav items, and like I said, this works kind of like JSX, except without some of the annoying parts, like you don't have to map and stuff like that. So I'm going to say for each of these, or not map, you don't have to have keys. So for each of these items, let's have a link, and this link is going to point to it's just what I happen to call it, i.href, and then inside here, we'll have i.title. And you can see that now all those show out below. Obviously, there's some stuff I'd want to do here, so let's do class, and you could do flux. Let's do like gap2, something like that. And again, I don't know how like perfect this is going to be, pixel perfect. I'm mostly just concerned about getting this stuff, you know, decently working. All right, and then this whole thing also needs class, flex, gap. Actually, let's do justify between. All right, so there we go. And then we'll do some like padding 2 or something like that. Now, like I said, we're going to use a couple newer things here, but one of the things I want to also use is Astro icon. I don't know if the assets collection will substitute for me here because this is so easy to work with and it kind of keeps my icons separate, but maybe it will. I don't know. I haven't really super paid attention to how those two things interact. But let me just open the local terminal here and install this. Basically what this does is it compresses all these icons. You can use either Iconify ones or local ones. So it compresses them and puts them directly in your HTML on build. So I like using it for that reason, but all you have to do is import it like this, and then you can use it. And if you're using local icons in the src directory here, you want to have another directory called icons, and that's where it looks by default unless you change that. So then what I'm going to do is take this right here, and let's just create a new one called like logomark.svg. We'll drop this in here, and then I'll get rid of this and just pull in my icon, name it logomark. So you just want to give it the same name as whatever is here in the directory. And now if I come back over here, see, there it is. So it's actually compressed it, minified it, done other stuff to it. I don't know. And you can obviously give this classes like here I would want to. So like, or like a width as well. So width. So you can pass in all the normal attributes you'd expect for an SVG. So I could say, I don't know what that would have been, like 30. That's way too small. Maybe 100. I don't know. I should just go look it up, but let's say 50. So there you go. And you can also pass along class names or whatever you want. Okay. The other thing is I probably want it to have an alt, so we could be like logomark for Runo. All right. So there we go. We got a basic nav up and running. Now you'll notice that on the design, they have this underline here. So let's grab this. Let's see, where's my... So I'll probably want to grab some of these colors here in a moment. Let's see if this is anywhere else. Looks like it's here. Okay, so we'll use that as like a tertiary accent, or is that the accent? That might be the accent. They're just letting the colors, the other colors do the work. So maybe what I should do is pull up my Tailwind config file, and let's go ahead and extend the colors. And, well, yeah, let's just do this. Let's call it accent for now. I will probably change this up, maybe. I don't know if I'll have time. Normally, I would do this as like in my CSS file. What am I doing? Yeah, like that. I know, I fixed it. All right, so let's close that down. Now, over here, by default, Astro ships no client-side JavaScript. If you want JavaScript on your page, you can include it. But anything up here is in the front matter. It's only used on build. It's only used like server side. Down below, you can include stuff, and I can just do it directly in a script tag down here, or I can import it. In this case, this is fairly basic. So what we're going to do is, and all this is scoped to a module by default as well, by the way. So we could say like page or current page or whatever. And this would be location.origin or path name. There we go. So let me just make sure this is working. So here we go. And I've got this thing by console ninja pulling up here. So current page is just telling me it's the /. If I were to go to another page, well, this is not quite going to work yet. So for now, we're going to leave it alone. But what I'll do is say if, actually the other thing I want is my nav items. So nav items, I guess navigation links. How about nav links? Document.query selector all. And I'm going to select anything. Should probably give this some kind of special class. Yeah, let's do that. So we'll call this like nav links. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, so let's grab all these. And then I just want to loop through all my nav links. So let's do like window or, yeah. We'll add an event listener on the window. We'll just listen for DOM content loaded. And whenever it's loaded, we will run this function that loops through all the nav links. Let's see, I guess we could just do this. That's fine. This is fine. For each link, we'll just say if link.href. Oh, I said I was going to use TypeScript. Node element of list. Okay. Let's just do this as link HTML. What is this called? HTML anchor link. I know. Why doesn't it like this? All right. right, well, maybe TypeScript was a mistake since like I said, I'm still definitely learning it. So if l.href equals the current page, then what I want to do is take the so the actual element here, and I want to set its style dot or attribute, set attribute, and this is aria current. I want to set it to page. All right, so let's see what we got here. This is working properly or not. All right, let's see if this is working either. No. Okay, so nothing is being pulled in here. I wonder if, let me check this. Console.log l.href. Okay, so what I need to do, we're going to replace the location.origin with nothing. Does that work? Origin. Okay, so then I am in here, which also means aria current page. Okay, there's probably a cleaner way to do that, but off the top of my head, what we're doing is for each of these nav links, we're looping through them, stripping out the origin, and just looking at the actual path name essentially. And at that point, what we're doing is comparing it to the current page, which I guess I can do triple equals here, and then I'm adding an aria current to that. There are other ways to do this as well, but I guess that was my initial thought, is just to do it like that. Okay, so the reason we would do an aria current is because it's more accessible, and then we can style that as we need to. I'm not sure why this thing is still being weird on me, so let's just get rid of that and see if that helps. Sure, that'll be fine. We'll just leave that alone for now. So what I would do is just say, honestly, probably what I would do is pull up a sheet over here. Let's just have like a styles, and then inside here I'll have like a, I don't know, main.css file. And I know you're not supposed to with Tailwind, this with Tailwind, but I'm going to do it anyhow. Or just say aria current equals page. Then what I want to do is just border bottom 2 pixels solid, I don't know, red, something like that, just to see if it works. We need to actually pull this in somewhere. Using printing type. I'm not sure I'm following you there. I tried to just do a type declaration. It didn't like me, so for now what I want to do is pull this in up top. So we're going to import that CSS file, which you just do like this, styles, and then we'll grab the main CSS. And now it should show it right there. So all we're doing is basically saying anything on the page that happens to have that, where is that at? Right here. Go ahead and throw this on it. In this case, I guess what I need to do, you don't have to do like the whole @ declaration here in Tailwind just because it actually has that. But so I guess probably honestly what I should do here, I think that'll work. Let's do this. Can I think I could just do this inline. I'm not sure what I'm thinking. Let's just do this inline here. So what we're going to do is have border bottom 2. Is that how we do this? Yeah. And then we'll do border transparent. And then I think you can do like aria. Oh yeah, here. You can do like current page maybe. Let's check this out. I don't remember. Actually, I already got Tailwind over here. So let's go aria states. Okay. Aria checked. So can I just do it if it has an aria current? Like this, I think. Let's try it. And we'll do border, what was that called? We call it accent. Let's do red 500 just so I don't have to guess. Well, we're getting kind of stuck stuck here, but let's do that accent color. So it is actually coming in here. Aria current. Do I have to do like equals page or something? What if I do it like this? Oops. If you know how to do this, let me know. Aria. Oh, these are the only ones that work, maybe? Tailwind, Aria, current. This is taking longer than it should have taken. I should have just skipped past this, but we're trying to work on Astro, but I just can't help myself. Oops. I expanded. Aria and CSS file disabled. Not sure I understand. Yeah, I disabled that. I disconnected it. Well, I don't know how to do this in Tailwind right now, and I'm not going to waste any more of your time because that's not why we're here. Oops. So let's just get rid of this, and I will go ahead and keep that though, because I do want them all to have a border and then just change the color. So I think what we'll do is just come over here and change the border color. And here, let me just grab this and just dump it in here, even though I know I shouldn't do that. And then I'll rehook this thing up over here. Let's see. Oh no, you're right. I didn't disable that. And now the Tailwind is overwriting that. So I'm not sure what I forget how I would do this in Tailwind because I don't write a ton of Tailwind. Let's just do this on all the nav links then. So let me know. I'm sure there's got to be an easy way, but I don't want to waste time on this since this is not why we're here. So we're 2 pixels solid. There we go. Okay, that works. Ask ChatGPT. That's probably what I should have done. The Aria. Okay, so here we go. So all that to say, what we got here is where this will move around based on where we're at. Now, in order for this to actually be working on other files, the next thing we need to do is extract out the actual like wrapper component. So right now everything is just this index page. What I'm going to do is create another folder in here just to keep stuff organized called layout, layouts, I guess. And we'll call this like main layout. I usually capitalize these layout.astro. And then I'm going to grab all of this, essentially like this, and I'm going to dump it in here. And then what we're going to do is we've got this up here, and we can actually pass things in between components like props. So first of all, I'm going to have a slot right here. This will be for all the content on the page, wherever that's at. Secondly, I do want that nav component in here. And once again, I got to reload the window. So let's pull that in. Let's see. The other thing I want to do is be able to have this title be dynamic. So we can actually pass things between components altogether. So we could say like const, and I can grab the title, destructure that from what's called astro.props. You could also just type out astro.props.title if you want to everywhere, but I don't want to do that. So inside here, we can have the title. You could even have a fallback. So I could say like travel blog is my fallback, and then I'll dump it in directly here. Now, how do we use this? Well, I'd come over here and grab all of this. And here I would actually pull in my main layout. And then anything in between these two tags, because I had a slot in here, over here, this slot right here, anything between these two tags is going to show up on the index page. So I could say like home or whatever. And maybe I should put this in paragraph. All right, home. So everything will be inside here. And now I don't need to import the nav here or anything like that. This import for the styles should also be on the wrapper component. So let's do that. So we've got that set. Now what I can do to create extra routes is just come in here and we'll call this about. And we've got a, was that contact as well, .astro. So I can grab all the same stuff and drop it in here. We'll call this contact. And this will be called about. Okay, so we've got about. Now I can come over here and you can see how that just kind of moves between routes. So here's the first exploration of one of those new cool things that's coming in Astro. 3.0, which I think is just the next couple weeks, and I do plan to do a video on it once it comes out. But what I'm going to do is open up my Astro config, and inside here we can have an experimental flag where I declare certain things. So in this case, what I want is the view something, if this is going to load, or I'll have to go look at the docs. Astro view transitions, and I'm going to reload this window for some reason. I don't know, VS Code's been really weird to me recently. All right, so here we go. That's what I want. So I'll drop that in there. Now what this allows us to do automatically by adding this is I just have to add this right here to some kind of wrapper component or common head. In this case, I've got my main layout. And I could extract this head into its own section as well if I wanted to. Usually I do on larger projects. But what I want to do is import this in this front matter and then grab this view transitions and just drag it in like this. Here's the cool thing. Just by doing that, when I start clicking, it's going to do like an automatic crossfade between stuff. Now, you're going to notice that we've got a problem, which is the JavaScript only works once. And then after that, it has a problem getting stuff. So the reason is because once the JavaScript runs on this nav page over here, once this JavaScript runs on the nav page, it kind of shares state between everything. So if you come back over here, there are ways to essentially work with that or move between those things. So you can first of all put this transition persist on items, and that will allow you to work with it. There's also a function here somewhere. I got to look at it. Here we go, Astro load. So the Astro load fires at the end of the page navigation. And so that way you can listen to it and basically run stuff based off that. You can also do a before load that runs before. So for instance, hey, welcome. Why Google throw out an alternative page with errors on very standard Astro site? I'm not sure. Yeah, I would just include that. Make sure you're including the canonical tag and that it's showing as different on each page. Because if you don't add that, it won't do that. So yeah, Abdullah, that's the right direction. So you can see here, like for instance, if you're wanting to like set your dark mode or light mode, you can run that before the actual page loads. So anyhow, these are a couple of directives that may be a help to you. The other thing you can do is run this inline. So when navigating between them, this is what we're running into. Scripts are run in sequential order that match the browser behavior. If you have code that sets up global state, the state will need to take into account that script may execute more than once. So all that to say, like this is going to happen on each page load. So the is inline basically tells it not to compress it and put it into a common JavaScript file. So that's another thing to kind of pay attention to, is whether or not you want Astro to be touching your JavaScript or leave it alone. All that to say, I think if we come in here on my main layout, I should be able to just do transition persist up here. And now that was wrong. Okay. Log. What did I call that thing? Oh, I don't have a route for it yet. Contact us. Okay, so when I reload there, you'll see that then at that point it's doing something. But what I want to do is just then come over here. Let's come into my nav component. And maybe let's do one of these checks on the script. Where's that at? Okay, so this is what's we're running into trouble with here. Module scripts are only ever executed once because the browser keeps track of which modules are already loaded. So this should be already a type of module. Maybe I'm misunderstanding how that works. Yes, the VS Code extension is color highlight. Well, here I was about to show you something cool, and for whatever reason. So let's do this here. There's a way to do this just with normal view transitions as well. Set of stuff. Let me also just come down here and do Astro before load. What am I missing about this? I've used this before. I didn't put it in the video because they're still changing it actively. So, well, I'll have to show you that later since clearly this isn't working. I don't want to spend any more time on it, but let me know if you want to look into the docs and let me know what I should do differently there. Let me lastly try like this inline. I don't think this will make a difference. No. So all this is going to do is not make it a module, which means it won't execute. But I do wonder if... Okay, so let's do this. And just leave it alone for now. And we'll come back to that. So all I was going to do is show you that it will like morph between these things, but clearly it won't. And I don't think it would anyhow because those are borders. So that's another thing I need to think about. Anyhow, we'll get around to that. But let me know what I'm doing wrong with that view transitions with the local JavaScript because I've used that before and didn't think it was going to be trouble. But all right, so let's actually do some more stuff. Let's move over to the assets collection and also pull this in. So let's go back to the Astro config. We'll also pull in this assets collection. And this will allow us to essentially minify images and stuff like that. It should do this automatically the next time we build. So I think we're good with all the rest of that. Okay, so let's pull in some of those images. So let me close down a lot of these files. We don't need these. We'll open back up this and come into here. And I want to grab this image if it'll let me. Aha. So let's go ahead and just grab all of these things. Let me grab this image right here. It can be a JPEG. Sure, let's just make it massive. Why not? I should. Public images. No, here. I want it in my SRC. Assets. We'll call this hero. Our home hero.jpg. See, does it create that for me? Yes, it does. Look at that. Okay. So now what we're going to do is grab this, and there's a couple ways to work with this. There's either the component like this, or there's also a function as well. Let's see, where is this? Here we go, get image. Right here. So this is what we're going to use. So I'll come over to the index, and probably what I will do, and you can do this in a couple different ways. I think what I will do, what I would tend to do is come in here and create like a, let's just keep this top level. But I'd probably create a hero component like Astro, like this. And then in this case, what I want to do is do import get image from Astro. And you can see here, then what they're doing is importing the actual image. So we'll call this like hero image from assets home hero. And now what I can do is I can actually optimize this so I can add it as like the background image here, for instance. And what I can do is optimize it ahead of time. So let's do this. And we'll call this hero image. And now it will actually allow us to grab like the source and drop it in here, for instance. Okay, so let's come down here and let's call this a header component. All right, and then we'll have a class name. I forgot to do this in Tailwind. Background image. Let's see, actor if is active href. Not sure I'm understanding you, sec. Write-ups. My theme is clashing with the colors. Not sure I understand what you're saying there. Okay, so here we go. I can add it like this evidently, but I want it to be inline. Okay, yeah, there we go. So in this case, like we saw over here, all I have to do is basically add this in as like this JavaScript in here. So there's a couple ways you can do this, but I guess let's keep it simple. Come on. Let's see. Like that, I think. And then I can also do like min height screen or something. And I think what I'll do is actually have a class list here. And this allows you to have more dynamic values like this. Let's see, like this. There we go. And then I can also have this section just be tailwind classes afterwards. Oops, this goes here. Okay, there we go. So I've got this, and then I can just start typing my other tailwind classes here. That's another little helper function that Astro gives you. So here I am. This thing can't load. Okay. I need to actually pull this in somewhere, so let's come back to the index route. And let's pull in the hero. Again, VS Code isn't working, so let's pull this in. Hero. Come on, help me out. There we go. Okay. So let's drop this thing in here. I should be optimizing the image and I think adding it in there, assuming we did all that correctly. Oh, I forgot to put the src. So this is .src. All right, there we go. So you see how it's actually making an AVIF. It's setting the width and the height and all this kind of stuff. So it should be working on that in the background, and it should pop in here, assuming I did it correctly. It is grabbing the correct file. Maybe I just need to... Let's just see if we can get the image to actually work. So let's grab the image from the Astro image. Since it doesn't seem to like that right now, we'll set the src to my optimized background or to the hero image. This should be from here. And this needs an alt. There we go. Something happened. Somehow I pulled in the entire image. We're done. Look at that. We finished the whole site. Oh, it's just a JPEG. Well, no wonder it was taking such a long time to figure that out. So this is somehow I exported the wrong image. Okay, let's go back to to Figma and open this up. That's not at all what I wanted to do. This is what I wanted to do. I just want this right here. Okay, so let's try this again. And we'll do src assets. For now, we'll just do image. That's fine. And then let's come over here and we'll steal this. I guess I should have looked at that ahead of time. Let's get rid of this. Well, let's come in here. Home hero. Okay. And I'm still grabbing the entire thing. Oh my. This thing is supposed to make my life easier. Is it just that I'm selecting the wrong layer? Is this not grouped properly? Okay, let's just open back Figma back up and download this thing separately because I don't know what's going on over here. Seriously, what's going on? This is, I mean, I kind of feel like maybe we should have just called it there. This whole thing is just a separate image. Oh, it's a background image. Aha. Okay, so let me come in here. I'm just going to drop it in from this other screen. I was pretty good. Never moved that quick. Assets. Okay, we're just going to replace it manually. Okay. Now let's come back to our hero. Right here. Homehero.jpg. Homehero.jpg. What? It said it was going to export just the background. Okay. It's still the same image. Let's get rid of this. Pull it up here. And now redo this whole thing. Okay. It's telling me that we did it right. Homehero.jpg. Like 45th times the charm just to get an image. This is the right image over here. Okay. We got it. All right. So since this whole optimized function isn't working, we'll just use the image. And I'm not sure why that's the case, but for right now, I'm not going to worry about it. And here, I guess we can just switch this back to standard class. Like this. That'll work. I guess I also don't really need that either. All right, so here I'm going to set this whole thing as relative. And then we'll make this class be absolute. And inset 0. So I should spread that whole section. Okay. Now we'll worry about the size of all this in a second. Now that I've got this pulled up over here, anyhow, maybe I'll just leave this up so we don't have to keep trying to mess with that VS Code extension, which I did say was awesome, but right now it isn't seeming super awesome. So let's go ahead and grab it. Now, this is obviously some kind of rotating banner thing. I don't think I want to try to mess with that right now. Why is this thing not even letting me select this text? Okay, so let's grab that. Let's grab that. And let's grab this. We've got this little adventure tag as well. Okay. Come on. It's grouped. Yeah, it was grouped. I should have control clicked or command clicked or whatever that was. All right, so let's go ahead and kill this. We'll come over to the hero. Let's add in a couple more of these things now. My default would be to make like specialized components for each of these, so we should probably do something like that. So if we have like a, what is that thing called usually? Like that pill? What do they call that thing? Badge. There we go. So let's go ahead and do that as well. So we'll come over here and have a badge.astro. And for right now, we'll just have it be like a link that points nowhere. And it'll say like something. All right, let's go ahead and pull this in over here. And that should have added that somewhere. Guess we should also do like a z-index 10. There we go. There's my something right there. So what I want to do on this badge is have two things that can come in. Let me remind myself if those are all the same. They look to be about all the same. Okay, so they're all the exact same styling. So let's come over here and we're going to pull in an href and a... I'll probably just pull in the text directly in here. And these will both be from astro.props. And I should be able to drop the href in here. And the text in here. Now, at first this is not going to like it because I haven't passed it these things. So href I'm not sure why even like the TypeScript isn't throwing errors at that. Like this should be throwing errors right now. I don't know what's going on. Okay, so let's come in here and we'll just say this needs to be text is adventure. Okay, so it's pulling that in properly. That's good. Let's now style this. So we'll say uppercase to get this thing uppercased. I guess we should probably come in here and see what's going on. Maybe here I should pull this in. So we've got padding 5 and 10. Background color here. Border radius is 8. Okay, so we'll get something close to this. So let me come back over here. So this is just white at 15%. Okay. So background white, like, I guess we've got a 20%. That'll work. PX, I don't remember exactly what it was. PY1, something like that. Border. Is it radius full? Rounded full, I think. Was it full? No, not quite. I can't see anything because of how zoomed I am here. 6 pixels. So what's large? Or medium? Medium is 6. What's large? 8. I think it was 8. Okay. So there we go. Text needs to be small and bold. So we'll say text white. Font size, or was it text extra small? Small, something like that. Font bold, that'll work. That seems a little too big. Semi-bold. All right, we obviously don't have typography set up or anything like that, but now at least we've got this little component here that we can use throughout the design as we need it. Let's come back over here. Next stuff we need is this right here. So it's 36 auto white. Okay. What is? It's all Laura. Roboto. Spartan. I'm guessing that's only used in the logo. Yeah, Roboto. Okay. So we might just pull that stuff in here in a second. But for now, I think I'm going to create a separate component. We'll just call this a hero component or header component, heading to Astro. And here we'll pull in a few things. Yeah, let's go ahead and have const like tag name. I think I did this before in another live stream. This is how I usually do it. And then we'll have a tag that's equal to the tag name. And then I should be able to pull in the tag like this. And I think what we'll do is actually just make this a slot. Just so that if we have stuff that we want to add inside here. Is that what I want to do? Sure, let's do that. Let's also have like sizes. What else do I want to have? I guess we'll pass in classes as well. Do astro.props. Not astro.props. I'll do props equals. So tag name. Let's just have tag options or something like this. And we'll set this to a union of like H1. Let's grab this. Just copy this a few times and close it off. And I'll grab all these ones here and we'll do text pastry 1 to 0. There we go, something like that. What is this const doing here? This is a type. No, it's not. What I want is for this to be And I forgot I was going to do this as a const. So we're going to replace all these pipe characters here with commas, and then we'll do as const. So these are read-only basically. And now I can pull this in as tag type of tag options. Is that right? Yeah. Okay, so it should be one of those. Size. We'll do the same thing, type of tag options. And I'll show you how we're going to use that in a second here. There's other things we could do here, but let's... Classes is just a string. And this would be optional. This should be able to pull this in here. Not key of, type of, because it's not an object, right? Let's see what happens when I pass this in, what it tries to do. So let's come back over here to the hero. We'll have the heading. Let's reload the window. Heading like this. And here we can say like stuff inside of here. And I need to give this a tag name, which would be like H1. What will it give me when I do this? The rabbit hole again. Yeah, I know, right? This is how it is with me though, Dante. You know, you've been here enough to know. Let's see, size. So for some reason it's not like showing me this IntelliSense, which means I'm probably just doing the TypeScript wrong over here. So instead of doing all that, let's just come in here and we'll just say for both of these, it needs to be this. And then at the end of both of these, like this. Okay. So now I should be able to come over here. Yeah, and I get these now. So H1, H2. So somehow I did that wrong. I'm not exactly sure what I was doing there, but I'm not sure why that wasn't working. Well, either way, we're just going to leave it like that, and maybe we should just change this to like type and do this like we originally had it. I don't remember why I wanted to do that anyhow, so we'll just replace both of these, with that. Okay, now let's come in here and add some classes. And I do want to do a class list here because it'll allow us to have a couple different options. So we'll have like some default things here. Well, actually what I think we'll do is pass in whatever the option is that they chose. And then, yeah, whatever option is that they chose. And then over here, we will have, we'll spread it in classes, whatever classes they have. And since it's just a string, I should be able to just do that. Now, right here, what I need is we're going to have like header sizes or something. And this will be equal to, and for each of these, we will have like H1, and we'll have a bunch of stuff. H2, you can use a library for this, like the CVA library, that will make this a little bit more elegant, but I don't want to have to try to discern that because that would be another rabbit hole we just can't help ourselves with. But basically what I want is this header size, and I want my size here. Now this will yell at me right now because it doesn't know what this is. So I think what I need to do is, what if I do this like a, is it like a record? And here I have tag options and string. Is it like that? Oh yeah, I know. I'm gonna do the rest of them. Calm down. So we'll have 3, 4, 5, and 6. Hey, we did something right, and it was in TypeScript. Okay, so let's go for all these. And so for this H1, which I'm assuming would be the biggest thing on this site. Is there anything else here? No, that's the biggest. Okay. So now what we're going to do is come and grab this. This is 36. So text XL something. What would this be? Why isn't it showing me this in IntelliSense? I don't know, but let's just text size. No. Font size. Where's my 36? 4XL. Okay. Let's do that. Bold, Laura. So we'll have to pull in those other like font families here in a second, but so for now we'll just grab all that. This will be size 1. Tag name is stuff right here. This H1 should be pulling in here. So let's see what's going on. So this H1 is getting none of those items. Interesting. Why is this thing wrapped anyhow? This should be like this. There we go. Okay, I just set it up wrong. Okay, let's go ahead then and pass through like dynamic things like the color directly in. Let's get rid of that. Wherever we're invoking it. So I guess I could set that up as a separate thing, but I think we'll just do like text white, and that should pull that in there. That works for me. Anything else I need to be worried about here? I think I guess the line height, which is like, isn't it like leading or something? Leading, I'm not sure how to say that. Line height. Let's do probably 4. Okay, so we'll just leave that alone, and then we'll come back to it as we need it. But answered it. Yeah, that's right. First try. All right, so let's actually pass in this. And I think I actually had that on my clipboard, didn't I? Yeah, so let's pull this in here. Like that. And I guess this needs to be slightly bigger. Why is that? Oh, here we go. This is all I want. Let's do normal, tight, none. I don't want exact values. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so then over here we've got this, that, and whatever that is. Okay, so let's add the date in. And probably, honestly, what I would do is, like, if this is some kind of CMS, this would be, and they're like a, what's the HTML, like, date time? Isn't there, like, date time something? I don't know. Anyhow, it doesn't really matter. We'll just do a paragraph tag. I probably would have some kind of, like, function that works with this, which is probably what I'll do eventually, but seeing as we're already kind of taking our time on stuff, maybe let's not do that right now. So this will all be in a section here. Flex, gap, 2, sure, that's fine. Whatever this thing is, we'll have one of those. Not totally sure what that's supposed to be, but that's fine. And then here we'll also have another paragraph. Okay. Let's take this as text white. That'll work. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab all of this. We're going to grab all of this right here. We'll put this inside of a div with a grid, gap 2. This badge also then probably needs to be max width fit. It only ever needs to be at size that it needs to be. I feel like just emotionally this needs to be a little bit bigger side to side. I'm not going to look it up. That'll work. We'll come back over here, and on this whole section we'll say max width. Let's do something like, well, let's try prose. I guess that's about what they have, so that'll have to work. The other thing we can do is on all this here, we could do like text balance, text wrap, I think it is, balance, and it should kind of figure some of this stuff out for us. This is only in Chrome right now, I think. but it kind of figures out the wrapping so we don't have like widows or children or whatever they're called, orphans I think is what they're called, where you have like an extra single line on the next line. So we'll get rid of that. Let me see what time it is. I have no idea. Okay. Okay. Use feeling, yes. Always use feeling. I think we should be set there. I don't know. I kind of think maybe what we should do here is just set this to a hard value. And that way it all kind of sticks together. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. This also is extra small for some reason. Okay, so that's good to know. So let's go inside here. And we'll do that. I think that should work. The badge, do I have text small here too? Text extra small. Why is this not applying? Oh, the badge is up here. You idiot. Okay. So let's come back over here and let's just do this on everything here. I think that should work. Okay. Generally speaking, that's fine. Let's also have this be a grid, a gap of, let's take this off first of all. Oh, you don't need to gap this at all, but let's do like align middle, align content middle. Let's see, this also needs to be overflow hidden. Okay, there we go. This is the problem, so let's do it like a min height of, let's just do an arbitrary value like 60 view height. That'll work. Let's then take that's not right. Align center. Place item center. I always forget these tailwind classes. Okay, there we go. So now it is putting it in the middle. The other thing I need to do is stretch this thing. So fit. It's like fit cover or something. Oh, come on. So this should be stretching to the bottom. Let's do object cover then. Height full. There we go. Okay. So that is now working. That's good. Let's just bump this thing down. Let's do end. And then let's just bump this off the bottom here. So we'll do like padding bottom of 64 or something like that. That might be a little, yeah, okay. So we'll just do align. Oh, what is this thing called? Align bottom vertical, no. Aha, there we go. Okay, that takes too much work. Let's also set this off right here inside of another thing we're going to just call container, which is a class we get from Tailwind. And then let's go back and do our Tailwind config, and you can actually set up this container to have a few things. Container, so like padding of 1.5 rem. Oops. Center is true.
I fixed it. Oh, not quite. There we go. All right, so it basically will lock itself to the center, and then as you get smaller, etc., etc. Okay, so that will work. I think probably the other thing to do is here, instead of this padding bottom thing, that seems kind of hacky. Let's do another hacky thing instead to mix up the hackiness. Let's do absolute. Absolute. We'll do bottom. Yeah, that'll work. We'll do bottom like 1/3. 1/4. Something like that. Okay. Always mix up how hacky things are. And that way, let's do with full here as well. And that way you kind of, you know, mix it up a bit. All right, cool. So there we go. We've also got this whole section that we need to worry about. I'm not sure how this is supposed to scroll. My guess is the nav stays over the top of that. We've got these 3 little dots that would represent like a scrolling banner, which honestly is not very good for like conversion rate, so I wouldn't use that personally. But flex call, then you put item start. Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing. Hey, Alien, thanks for joining. Astro people, yes. Timestamp, that's what I was looking for, Auto Lord. Thank you. All this Astro royalty showing up, and sorry, I'm destroying your beloved syntax or your beloved framework. So let's grab this right here. And aren't you supposed to put like this date time is the actual timestamp itself? So we'll get around to that when I finally get around to doing some of the other blog stuff. But for now, let's come in here to nav. And let's have a background transparent here, which, well, I should have already. So we'll just do absolute, or how about fixed with full. There we go, over the top of that. And then I think this background white, like, I don't know, maybe 10, something like that. Maybe 20. All right, and that seems like the wrong color. Oh, let's do black. And the same thing. Sure. I'll do text white in here. Okay. That'll work. Let's do px that, py. Actually, this should probably be a container anyhow. Not this. This. And then we'll take a lot of this stuff here and move that in here as well. And then let's do py like 8 or something. Probably be smaller, and then like on small screens, do like py8, something like that. All right, so there it kind of locks to the middle. Cool. Let's get moving on these right here. So since we had so much trouble earlier in exporting these, let me come over here. Let's try again, because I really don't want to have to export all those manually, one after the other. We'll give it one more shot in this Astro, or this Figma extension. So let me come inside here. Let's grab this. Assets. Something might be happening. Let's pull this in. And here we'll do src assets. There's got to be a way to like set this as your default, because I don't want to type that every time. We'll do like image or blog 1. Okay, let's figure this out. Same as, can I now like set unit settings? No. Well, I don't know. Let's just do src assets, and I'll copy this. We'll do block 2. Except I think I just overwrote that. So let's go back here. Why isn't it remembering that? Assets. Somehow it's like copying it to my clipboard. I guess maybe that's like a feature. Not really sure. Let's grab this and do the same thing. We'll do JPEG, SRC assets, blog 3. I don't know, let's see what else. Let's grab something else. I don't know, let's grab this one down here. SRC assets blog 4. Okay. So assuming that semi-worked, let's come inside here. Alien, why I have you here, and Princess and Autolord and anybody else, I was running into trouble with the view, if you're still here, with this view transitions, not reloading this part of the script down here. And I know there's a way to like, it's because obviously when it's transitioning, it's just carrying over all this stuff. So it's not rerunning this each time. I know there's a way to actually like tell it to rerun this code, but I don't remember how to do that. So if you happen to be in here and you happen to know how to do that, let me know. Okay, back over this way. Let's see what else we got. Man, I really want to extract this all out into its own little section. Maybe that's what we should do. Travel technology, adventure. I want to make this dynamic and like load this all from some kind of CDN or something. Do you want to watch me type data for the next 10 minutes is the question. I mean, what have we not just gone ahead and done when we felt like it? As Dante says, we should follow our feelings. So that's what we're going to do today. All right, so let me grab all this. Grab this. And we could use something like JSON server or something. That's probably overkill. Let's come inside here. Hey, thanks, Alien. Yeah, I wasn't sure why it wasn't working. I know I've done it before, so like I come over here to the About page. Oh wait, that's for some reason not working now. So let me come back into my nav and make sure that this is on top. So Z index like 50, whatever. All right, so if I come over here, it should reload like it's at the new route. And this right here should have that underline because it's now got ARIA current on it, or it should, but it doesn't because, let me come in here. So you can see it doesn't down here because that JavaScript is kind of erroring out on me. So that's what I was trying to figure out, and I just gave up for the sake of time because that wasn't why I came in here to code this morning, but I know there's a way to do it. I just can't remember. I think I need to type this as well properly, but anyhow, let's come in here. Let me just have, how do I want to do this? Let's just do a data folder. We'll do data. And inside here, we'll have like, oh, what am I doing? I'm going to make this content collections anyhow. I forgot I wasn't just doing a landing page. So what we need is a content folder. And then inside here, what we need is config.ts. Firing each time it navigates. Oh, cool. Okay. I think I tried that and it wasn't working. Am I doing that on here? Or am I doing that as the event listener, like on the with the window? Because I think here's where I tried it. Astro load here, and it didn't work. I did add transitions persist on it as well, and that didn't seem to help. So let's try this, assuming this is what you were saying. Let's see, now it's not firing at all. So maybe that wasn't what you were saying. Let's do DOM content loaded here. Maybe I don't even need this. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what you were. Why is this VS Code messing up so much? There's an event listener for the document, so you trigger that on both that and DOM content loaded. Okay. So like this, right? And then you're saying copy down, which is, I actually tried, I don't think I actually finished trying that. But like this, maybe? Still not working, so maybe I'm not understanding. Astro loaded, that's part of it. That would probably help. No, it doesn't do it till refresh. Maybe this is, shouldn't have that up there. No, it's still not working. Okay. Astro load. Yeah, I just fixed that. I think the stream's just, I always forget the stream's a couple seconds behind, so I'll jump over here. We'll do content collections just so I don't have to remember how to write all this out. And let's just grab an example. Let's grab this right here. Okay. So let's come over here to my config file. Let's paste this in. Let's get rid of all this. Right, and then I know I'm going to need a few things based on this. So like a tag, or I guess we call it like a category, a date, a title. Okay. We'll do a date. What am I doing? This needs to be schema z dot. Think like this. Category date z dot date. Why isn't this pulling this in? Let's restart the dev server. npm run dev. Okay. Yeah, the stream, you can watch it later if you want to. Yeah, and I would definitely watch it double speed. So, should be an example in the Astro before loaded. So do I need to do before load? Is an event listener for the document, so you need to trigger it on both that and the down content loaded. Is it that I'm running this on the window? I mean, that should be inconsequential, I would think. Or is this, should this be before load? I'll just leave that alone for now and then get back to you on that. So let's go here. This is going to be like adventure. Z dot, what is this, union, right? Let's get rid of this for now. Z dot day, I'll come back to that. Why is VS Code not giving me any IntelliSense? Let's give a title because I know that one. Z dot string. Description. Z dot string as well. Date. Am I gonna have to look this up? Let's just C dot date. Okay. And then I guess here, I guess this would be like an enum, right? And then we'd have different options in here. Adventure. I don't remember the other ones. Something else cool. Travel. Something like that. What are these? Travel, adventure, technology. Sure. Technology. All right, so before we move on with that, let's go down the rabbit hole again real quick, and let me look up the docs for view transitions, both Astro load and before load. Astro load. during page navigation. So this is what I was looking at earlier. Add event SLR load. So is it just that I need to add once true to this? Like it's trying to run multiple times, like maybe that's the problem. So let's get rid of this for now. But I mean, I'd want this to run on each. That can't be right. Let's try it. Like, what can it hurt? So before load, like, so I don't understand why it's kind of like erroring out here. Maybe I need to push all of this inside here. Like this. Oops. And this all needs to be before load, like this. It likes it there. Doesn't like it there. Okay. Did I get rid of the main nav? No, it's still there. Okay. Huh. Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm doing. Okay, well, we'll leave that alone, and if we figure that out in the description, it shouldn't be difficult, but somehow I've made it so. But such is web development. All right. This is still not liking me. So let's come back to the content collections right here. Is the event that fires at the end of the page navigation while Astro before load? No, okay, sorry. No worries. Ah, okay. So I should be able to do like both of these, right? I mean, I guess it's not switching between them though. Let's just run this so many times. So let's do this. And then, yeah, I'm still not understanding how to make that work. I mean, I just need to spend, honestly, 5 minutes now on stream, just looking through it briefly. But for now, for sake of time, I just want to move forward. We'll figure it out. So let me check why this typing isn't showing up here. I mean, this should already be here. TS config. I guess not. All right. So let's come in here. Compiler options. Strict null checks true. I thought this would be set already, but for whatever reason it's not. Okay. This is just if it's on base though, right? I mean, it should already be working if I have. Yeah, because it's already extending this. Not sure why that isn't working, but I think it's via see now it's working. Oh well. Anyhow, let's come inside here, and inside the content collections, we're gonna have a folder called blog, and inside here we'll have like post1.md, and we need to grab all these things right here. So let's grab these and drop this in here. And then what I need to do finally is to replace these with what's on my clipboard, which that's all in the wrong order. These are all like weirdly copied from Figma. Okay. So this date would be this right here. I guess that technically is the date, so we can just leave it just like that. We'll just lowercase this. And then let's open up the sidebar. Let's copy this down a few times. So do 2. VS Code thinks about it for 30 seconds while we wait. Oh, did I still have once true on there? Astro language server crashed like 5 times last 3 minutes. Any ideas? I don't know why that's happening. I'm not sure. Weird. Like, not to ask the obvious question, but does this happen every time, or is it just happening right now? Like, could you just restart VS Code, or like reload the window, like I've been doing like 100 times this whole thing for whatever reason? Let's see. I don't remember what order these were in. I probably should just... These all the exact same? Oh, those are all the same. Okay, weird. Technology. Let me pull this up so I can actually see what I have. That's going to be the same as well. Let's do this again. I'll do post 3. And we'll add this in here. Oops. This is Venture. Let's see. One more. Post 4. And we're just going to add that in. Okay. Then I've got a bunch of random stuff, none of which should be on this clipboard. Okay. All right, so now that I've got all those, I should be able to pull those in and show them below. Let me try one more time. Only happens with Astro all the time. Uninstall VS Code extension, re-add extension, tried everything. Huh. I don't know. Yeah, I'd probably just contact the Discord, because that doesn't sound right. I think the person who works on it was actually in the chat a second ago, so may not be here now though. All right, let's go back to that nav and try it one more time. Did I have once true? I don't think I had once true in here, so I don't see the problem. I'll figure it out, and I can add it to the repo later if we want to. Okay, let's also set on that hero. This should be a max height of 60. No, that works. Okay. Yep. Yeah, the Discord's awesome too. I wish I was more active in it, but it's either coding or in the Discord, so unfortunately my time is kind of limited, so I figure I can probably be more help just coding stuff out. Although today, not so sure. All right, so let's grab popular topics, and what I want to do is just grab all the content. What is VS Code doing? It won't even let me click anywhere. Like I said, I don't know what is happening with VS Code, but I've never thought about trying to switch to a different editor until the last like 2 weeks, and then like this happens. Does anybody else have a problem with this? I mean, it sounds like somebody's having a problem with Astro, but okay. So let's come back in here to our index page, and here we're gonna have like a blog card filter or something like that. I don't know. Blog posts. Blog filter. Final answer. Blog filter. Let's come inside here and we'll just have a blog filter.astro component, and then back over here. See, I blame VS Code for that because it's doing all kinds of weird stuff, including not loading IntelliSense for all kinds of other things. So now what we can do is we can get all of our content collections in here. So if we come over here, we defined it. Now we can just get it like, it's going to show you an example, but here we go. we can get these and await all them. So for instance, I can just grab this right here. I'm not going to give a specific entry, but we'll get all of these. And so since we've defined that collection, I should be able to come in here. And for whatever reason, it's not letting me pull that in. I don't know. So anyhow, all that to say, I should have all of these accessible here. What did I mess up? I don't even see what file this is in. What is going on this morning with VS Code? What in the world? Oh, let's just recopy it and see. Is that saying that's the error? What in the world? I have no idea what this is doing. Let's restart the dev server. A multi-line key. Is that saying that that's a multi-line key? I don't understand what's going on here. What in the world? I've never had this happen. Is it something with my config? Is that off? The block collection. Let me just make sure I didn't mess up something. I've done this enough, but... Scheme is that. That's literally what I'm doing. I guess I could set the type as content, but I don't think that should cause like an indiscernible error. And this is weird. Are we gonna have to literally kill this thing early? I've never had trouble with this before. So it's not even showing me the options here. Even now on reload, it's not. Man, I've never had this before. Is it inside here? Like I messed up one of these? Maybe this is still multi-line. Maybe that's the problem. Okay, it's a multi-line key. And that's a weird error. Is that? Oh, maybe that's the problem. Okay. That's a weird one. It's probably because I copied from Figma. Man, what a weird error. I feel like Astro's usually really good with errors, but whatever that was not helpful. Okay, let's try this. It didn't even tell me what file it was in. So I might just mention that, because I would think that's something you could discern, but let's also set this up. Let's console like this, and let's try again, assuming I got rid of all those. Okay. Maybe. Invalid something. Well, it's gonna break. Oh no. It's showing. But something is still invalid. Content does not match. Post 2. Man. Oops. Yeah. What in the world? Post 2. How does this not match? Is this not a... It's like multi-line here? Let's try again. npm run dev. Content empty files, you have the multi-line description, strongly double quotes. Yeah, if there's, but here that should be still fine in YAML, right? Like that's not a problem. As long as you don't, I had a line break. I think that was the problem. But maybe you're right. I mean, I've definitely done that in YAML plenty of times, so. Man, what a weird error. That's things to know, which I think is supposed to be things to know. I wonder if this like isn't a true date. Like that would be a date, right? That's my schema. Let me just grab one of these. How do you do that like that? Yeah, this is what I'm looking for. That's what I have. I think it's just this schema was off. It's counting this as a number. Oh, duh. All right. It happens. Yeah, so I just had it as a date and I had it as a number basically, I think. Yeah. Okay. Wow. Not my brightest moment. Okay, so here we go. We actually got our blog post. Goodness, that took forever. So all we're wanting to do now is to basically output that card template, down this way. So let's first of all grab just... So all I want to do is grab all of the different collection properties. And I think this is why I wanted to grab in my config here. Let's see. Let's do like JavaScript object to or array to enum. Because you could just do as const now, I think. Let me just try it and then I'll get out of here. Okay, so let me grab these here. And then can I just like pull this in here? Maybe. Yeah, that still works. Okay, so now what I can do is export const cats categories, and then I can just pull this in directly here. I mean, I could also loop through every available blog post, but so there we go. So now I can grab my categories and I should be able to just output these directly on the page. Maybe. Did I just kill this again? Cats. Categories. Yeah, okay. So let's come down here. Let's look at this again. So we've got popular topics. We should be able to pull on our heading component after I reload VS Code again. Come on. And I think I made this to where I have to add this in here. So popular topics, tag name would be H2, size would be H1 probably, and classes we'll pass in. We'll just leave the text that that color, that's fine. Obviously, the typography isn't perfect yet. I was going to get around to that, but since we've been doing all this stuff. So let's go ahead and add this to a section. And we'll have this heading inside here. We'll do ARIA label. Let's call this like blog posts or recent blog post. Or I guess this would be popular topics. So we could do that. We could also point this to an ID here. We'd have to change around our heading component some. Yeah, let's just do this. So like topics. And then what we could do is ARIA labeled by. I think like this. And then you can point it to the ID, and then it will basically show that down here. So let me first of all come into this heading component. We'll spread this in here. What is that? Why is it about in here? Get out of here. Okay, so now, shouldn't this come in? Oh, I need to probably pull in. I'm not going to worry about that right now. I just want to show you how this looks. So if I come inside here, let's come in here, and I turn on accessibility. You can see that now this whole thing is named by popular topics, which means if I come in here, and let's come over here, let's change this to like, I don't know, Joe or something. Now you'll see it says Joe topic. So as you change the actual text in that ID, it will change the section region, which will define what that section's about for screen readers and other assistive technology. So I always try to do that when I remember to. All right, next we've got the different categories. So let's take our categories that we exported there. Yeah, let's just map over them. So for each of these, we're going to output a link. So these will probably be buttons, right? Yeah, so this would be a button. Come on. And here we would just have the category right here. So there you go. And then, you know, we'd have some kind of ID. Probably like button, whatever the category is. And I'd probably slugify that normally. But I know all mine aren't. Like they're all single words. So let's just do a flex, gap 2, drop that in there. Like that. Blog filter. What was that? Okay. That works. Let's also grab all this and drop this inside a container, which will push it to that same kind of middle section. Actually, let's... Yeah, that'll work. What I want to do, though, is to come into my layout and set this. Is that what I want to do? Sure, I do. And we'll say class. So what I'm trying to do is just separate these by the parent. We'll do like gap, I don't know, 20 or something. That's probably way too much. Let's do like gap 8 and then small gap 16, large gap 24, something like that. All right, and then these will all be children of this main tag. So this will have a gap here of whatever this happens to be. As I get bigger, it will make it bigger. That way I don't have to like manually add padding on everything like a Neanderthal. Actually, lots of people still do that. I just prefer to let the parent do it. Okay, so over this way, we've got all travel adventure. So we'll probably we'd have like ARIA pressed on here and set this to true. You probably honestly use React for something like that. That's what I would probably do, but we'll just set this to false for now and class. Here we could have Is that what I want to do? Yeah, that's fine. I'll just do text small and call it good. Okay, inside here too, I want this to be separated off. So let's have like this be grid. Gap 2 as well. Out. And then we can start showing these cards. So we'll have a grid of these items here. And what I'll probably do is just add them like this. Let's see, right below the category types. We've got blog posts. We'll just map over each post and we're going to send it, to, we'll have like a post card or something. And we'll send out the entire card itself. So I need to create this. So let's come over here and we'll do post card.astro. And we'll pull in the title, the description, the date, category, all from astro.props. And just to make sure this is working properly, let's throw this thing in paragraph tag. Okay. Pull this in here. And nothing happens. Postcard. Let me just put something. Okay, so it's just not quite getting that. So let's see what astro.props is giving me. Aha, it's because this doesn't come from here. Okay, so what we need is, so I've got ID slug body collection. So this is a collection type, collection entry type. Here we go. All right. So we'll just call it post. Yeah, that'll work. And then I'll just pull it in just like this. So let's just do this so I don't have to retype all this. We'll just copy this in. So then this needs to be post.data. Well, we'll get to that in a second. Post.data. Title, whatever. Okay, so the reason this isn't working yet is I got to come over here and I got to pass in the post as that. In fact, I don't need to spread it anymore. Let's do it like that. And then should be able to come back over here and do npm run dev. Hey, good morning. Okay, so there we go. Now it's actually coming in. Those are all the titles. So for these postcards, what do I want them to look like? Great question. I want them to look like that. In fact, can we zoom in? No. Okay. So we've got this image. We've got this thing over the top, spaced out, all this stuff. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's have this be an article, just semantically, and then this will be grid gap 2, something like that. Here we'll have an image, and let's go ahead and pull in image like that. SRC will be, now in order to use this with Astro, like with the assets collection, what I need to actually do is come over here to my config and pull this in as an image here. And I don't even have that yet set up at all, so we'll do an image, and this will be my image. I think I can just do it like this. Let's check. Assets. Wait, I see it. Oh man, that didn't work. There we go. Is it already on the page? Yeah. Image. Okay, c.object. No, that's not what I want. I'm still not even on the right dock. Why isn't it selecting that? Okay, let's just come over here. Now everything's dying. I don't know if my internet's down, in which case nobody's hearing this anyhow. Let me just check. Huh. Well then, Astro must be down if my internet's weird. The tailwind's still working here. Weird. Okay, well. Okay, here we go. I don't know what that was. Image. Okay, it just needs to be a function. Okay, so now I'm saying that's an image. We'll connect each of these. So what I'm going to do is come in here to my post one. Let's see, can't you like point this to... Content collection schema. Already did that. Resolve. Okay, here's what I want to know. Okay. So I need to, it's relative to this. That's all I couldn't remember. So if I can, let's come out here. Let's see, I got to go up from content, or from blog to content to assets to image. Blog1.jpg, I forget what I called that. Yeah, blog1, okay. So let's grab this same thing. Let's go to post 2. Do the same thing here. Post 3. For some reason, it's not showing me anything over here, but it looks like it has dumb stuff out here. So I'm guessing I'm not doing this correctly. I've done this plenty of times, but I just don't remember. Relative paths to the current folder. So I came up, content, assets. I think that should be right. Blogfolder.jpg. Is it that it's a string basically pointing to that, and that's the problem? So let's come back here. No, because so maybe they just need to be relative, and that's the fix. So let's move them here. And then for all these, let's get rid of all this stuff. So let's see if that works. And now we wait again. I'm not sure what is going on today with my computer, but somehow some of you are still sticking around, so I'll keep going for now, but I probably need to be done relatively soon. I was hoping to actually get something done today, but last week, or 2 weeks ago, I forget the last time I streamed, but that was fun. We got a lot done then, but today's just been a slog, but that's how days are, so. Okay. NPM run dev. I could do without my computer like messing up every 3 seconds, but and having to reload VS Code constantly. Come on. See, it's still not even telling me the errors over there. So let me just copy this exact thing. I mean, I shouldn't have to refine it though. I'm having to retype everything too. If I hit up on the up arrow, it's not even showing me that. So, yeah, I don't know what's going on. Man. What am I messing up here? I guess I can like explicitly make this a string, but it's already a string. That's the only difference between what I'm doing and what the docs show. All right, post 4. Let's try this one more time. It's image. Oh. Here and here. Oh, and in here I have image. No, I have image there. Oh my word. Don't code. It's not worth it, people. Kids just stay home, play video games. Post 1. Goodness. Image. Oh my. I'm not sure why it's not showing me this error over here either. I've never had Astronaut do that. VS Code's been so weird on me. I'm just going to blame VS Code. And now it's still showing me an error. Image. But now I have to figure out what all this is. Okay, so here's the error. Okay, so let's... Again, I'm not sure why it's not showing me that, but let's just kill this refinement. Let's run it again. Manually type npm run dev for some reason. Let's come back over here. Okay. Glory be. Okay, so now let's come inside here. And I should be able to... Why is this pulling from here? Okay, so this should be my post dot data dot image, right? Can I not pull it in this way? Or now this needs to be in my assets directory. And again, I'm having to come all the way over here. It's undefined. Well, if things would autocomplete, I wouldn't have to manually type them. I don't think it's the feature's fault. I mean, you can't hide stupid and like not naming your key the same thing. It doesn't really matter what the feature is at that point. I'm going to mess it up. Okay, there we go. We got these images in here. Let's just call this post.data.title. I think the only complaint I have about the assets or whatever is that it's not as expansive as I'd like, but they have plans to do that. So, I mean, I'd rather it be stable as a basic image, but I'd like to be more responsive, you to be able to have like a source set, all that kind of stuff. But Yeah, it was my fault. So, and somehow I copied the tags with these like an idiot. On 3 those. All right, so I probably like I don't know. At some point, like I don't mind keeping up stuff that's helpful for people, but if you watch like 2 hours of this thing and you get to this point, we've done nothing at some point. I don't know that that's that very helpful to people. So let's come back out to the hero. Let me steal this right here. Date time. We're going to drop this bad boy in here. And here what I'm going to do is grab the post.data.date, which should add that in like that. And this is actually what we want to go here in this date time. And then here what I want to do is just, oh, sorry, I'll take this and say .to string like that. Probably I should do some kind of utility function over here. So I guess let's do like utils dot format date dot JS. Right? Oh, JS. Okay. And then inside here, what I want to do is take my date, return my date dot to locale date string. Now I wonder if they're locale shorthands or abbreviations. Is there something that gives me let's just ask ChatGPT. Is there a date locale that formats dates like this? 08, 09, 08, whatever, 2023. Yes. Sweet. Give me one. I need one. Yeah, I know. Okay, let's just locale for Germany. Date locale for Germany. Aha! Let's do one of these. So this is not right. To locale date string. I'm sure there's got to be one. I just don't want to have to manually write this, but at this point it might have been faster. Locales. Now I'm committed. We're gonna figure this out. Language, no. I'm pretty sure I've seen one before. I've used it before. I mean, which I think this is kind of a hacky way to do it, but no, I want it to be either way, and typically it's a local file with the build pipeline and CI. Daytime prop, okay. Source set, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you just have days where it's like everything works and you don't make any mistakes, and then you have days where you just do the same thing over and over again and do stupid stuff. So, to ISO string, yeah, I think I forgot about that, but yeah, because it's basically looking for a certain format in here, and again, this helps with, I mean, with crawlers, with SEO, with accessibility. That's my understanding. There's got to be there. I want to figure this out because I'm probably honestly at this point I'm just gonna kill this thing pretty soon because I gotta go. And this has not been super helpful, I don't think, for people anyhow because I've messed up so much. Hopefully I don't make Astro look bad. But there's just days you code like this, and that's fine. Come on, I want to find one. What are the different locale shorthands? Where can I find all of them? Okay. Let's open my default browser. Just thought about it. That's true. That's even more hacky way to do it. I like the Outer Lord though. I was trying to grab a locale, and then you can just, because you're right, if you do undefined, it will use your CI or wherever it's being built, but you can actually define your... This is stupid that I'm wasting so much time on this. But at least we're consistent, because this is kind of how this whole stream is gone. So, okay, let's just come back here. So we could do en us, that's fine, and come back over here and just do the hack, the other hack, not the hack I was going to do. Format date. Exports const format date. Why isn't that showing up here? Let's reload VS Code again. We'll pass it the post.data.date. Okay, back over here. So right here, and then, yeah, we can just take all this and dot replace. The dots, right? I didn't, let me look at place dot, oh yeah, that's true. But I actually want them to be like 08078. It's not a big deal. There is a format that allows you to do that. I'm just not finding it right now. Since I'm already down this rabbit hole and we've got nothing done, I'm not gonna find it, but I just want like a list of the locales. Is that hard? Yeah, like I want a list of these things. Oh well, okay. Let's be done with this. Come over here and at least add the text we need. So here we're gonna have a header component that we created. Let's reload VS Code again. Since no IntelliSense is working. Here we'll have the post.data.title. We need to pass this a tag name. This will be an H3. Since H2 is right here, H1 is the page. These are subsections. We'll do size. Probably be H3 as well, which we don't really have anything set up for. but there we go. And then finally we have a paragraph here with the post.data.description, I think. Okay. And obviously none of that looks the way it's supposed to, but we are set here. So we can do this in a couple different ways, but probably what I'll do is come over here and just add these all inside of a div with the grid. And grid, let's do small will be grid calls to. Something like that. Let's do a gap of like 6. I think that'll work. So that's not even close to being close. I didn't even get to show anything as far as like the view transitions, API, any of that kind of stuff I wanted to show off today. So sorry it wasn't one of those days where we could actually code anything useful, but yeah, you could separately define all those. That's true. Yeah, so that will get me, maybe that they are saying Germany. Let's try it. At this point, we're just going to be done in a second anyhow, so format date. Sorry, this has been, yeah, it's frustrating. I'm trying to copy this out of the chat, but it's not really wanting me to do anything over here. Come on. It won't even let me copy anything. Okay. Oops. I don't need to format it because that's what locale date string does for me. I tried that in ChatGPT too, but it all did is say there are several ways, which wasn't very helpful. But yeah. And I think by default, oh, okay. So by default, you just have to give it the numbers. That's date, month, year. Okay. Or, you know, that I want it to be 2-digit. There is an actual, I know there's an actual locale where you can just do this and that's the default. You don't even have to pass this stuff in. I'm not sure why that required 15 minutes of looking, but that's where we're at. So, all right. Well, I hope that was helpful to somebody in some way. I'm sorry it was such a disaster of a coding time, but I don't know. It happens. So Astro is not a pain to work with in spite of the way I made it look today, but I hope you enjoyed it all the same. But